We've got an adversary event to finish up and a brilliant event to talk about. Let's get into it. I'm Professorvoqas, and this is Harry Potter Wizards Unite.
Hello, Professor. I didn't see you there.
It is 12:53 on Monday, and I'm almost done with the adversary event. I really could have finished it prior to now, but I wanted to make this video, and I had to edit the other video that's coming out today as well. So you'll see that video in a little bit. It's actually rendering right now while I make this video. So anyway, 12:53, which means I have a little over an hour left. I did run wizarding challenges. My last video, we hadn't done that yet. I just ran a lot of Ruins 2, Ruins 5, mainly so I didn't have to use a lot of energy, especially Ruins 2. I can go through with the Professor's Hex and use no energy if I want. Actually, for that, I've been running Mysterious Artifacts, runestones, mainly getting ready for Community Day because I'm trying to get that Cursed Opal Necklace and Hagrid's motorcycle. So if you are running any fortresses, go look at that page for Community Day. And see if there's something you need out of that. Because if there is, go ahead and, anytime you're running fortresses, use those just to get yourself a head start on that. But back to the tasks at hand. I did do the 35 foes, so Strongest Stimulo. Master Notes, of course, that was just overnight. I just needed to keep running those Extimulos. I actually threw a couple Witch Sharpenings in too, because I had the ingredients, and I just didn't want them to go to waste. And then the 1500 challenge experience, I had a chunk of it, but of course running fortresses knocked that out right away. But the last thing we need to do is an edible dark mark, and this is really a guide. This is really a guide for the brilliant event that's starting tomorrow. So we're actually going to pop an edible dark mark, so let's do that first. Let's go up to my edible dark marks. I think I have 11 right now. 12, I have 12. I really don't use them that much. So we're going to use one. Yes, use an edible dark mark. 30 minutes on the clock. And something will appear right away, but let's actually go back to the special assignments. I've used it, so let's get our Armadillo Vial, and then let's actually complete the event as well. So congratulations on finishing, some Defense Against Dark Arts books, and I get my Dark Mark right back, which is nice, as well as some coins and energy, that kind of thing. It was quite the ordeal, but we managed to fend off another large-scale adversary attack. This may be my ophidiophobia talking, but were the adversaries we faced more powerful this time? I did feel that way, didn't it? Not to mention that this wave certainly took more out of me as the source of the memories than the last one. Could the Calamity's power be growing stronger? I'm not sure if it's the Calamity or the memories themselves that are stronger. I have a theory that the more vivid, traumatic, and scarring the memory that's stolen is, the more powerful the resulting adversary becomes. I don't have any definitive proof, but it lines up with my experiences. So adversaries could be fueled by negative emotions like fear and anger. If that is the case, I shudder to think what our mysterious enemies could have in store for us next. That's really, I think that's trying to ramp up so that we'll know that those lethal adversaries are going to be that much worse because they are the more powerful, the more scary adversaries. Anyway, we are going to get into the guide in just a second, but let's go ahead and hit this adversary first. Let's see what we get. So actually, I believe this is an Aragog. Oh no, it's not. Acromantula down, I got a firebolt out of it, and we're on to the Sphinx. And there goes the Sphinx. Sphinx down. I actually used an Extimulo for that just to speed things up. And onto the Hungarian Horntail. So we just did this event recently, actually. I'm going to use Wit Sharpening and Potent on this guy, though. Oh my gosh. So his first 2 rounds of attacking, he hit me twice each time. So that means a healing potion is almost assuredly going to have to be used. Look at that. So that's all 3 attacks he's done on me have been double attacks, essentially. Ooh, I hope it doesn't hit me a third time. Healing potion. If he had hit me a third time, it might have been trouble. Unless he hits me a ton of times, that 1 healing potion should get me to the end, because he only has 50 left, so even if I don't do a crit... Yeah, that wasn't even a crit, and I managed to get it. By the way, I still haven't managed to get a dodge on camera, but I have gotten a couple dodges from that adversary, the combat adversary tree. Nice. Another firebolt, so that's good. But I have managed to get, I've seen 2 dodges, like I've seen them. Maybe I've gotten more, but I've noticed twice when I got dodges. and it was just when I was fighting adversaries and not really screen recording. So while we have some time in between adversaries, we're going to go over this brilliant event. So again, it's going to go Tuesday to Tuesday, February 9th through the 16th, 11 a.m. Pacific time to 11 a.m. Pacific time, as per normal. 5 new brilliant foundables. It's called An Imperfect Love, revolving around Valentine's Day. And it starts out with Quidditch fan Hermione and Quidditch keeper Ron, well, brilliant versions of them. And they're going to be the 2 overworld map, the purple beamed adversaries, I've got that on my brain, foundables that we'll be looking for in different tasks and will be available throughout the whole event. Next up is Crookshanks. 5 fragments to place Crookshanks. Crookshanks will come from port keys, so guaranteed drop, but you'll have to walk those port keys to get the 5 fragments of Crookshanks. And it's 20 fragments for Ron and Hermione, which is standard for the purple beamed foundables available during a brilliant event. Cormac McLagan will be 1 fragment to place. He will just be a fragment reward from finishing up a set of tasks, and I'll mention it when we get to that set of tasks later. And last is Lavender Brown. She'll be 3 fragments to place. She'll be the fortress fragment, so you have to use brilliant runestones, go into the fortress, the night bus most likely, run. It's not a guaranteed drop, 50% in ruins 1 to 100% in dark 5, and it scales up, so the higher fortress you go to, the more likely you will get a piece of her, a fragment of her, along with 10 family experience, brilliant family experience for this event. There will be bundles in the store as per normal, but it's nothing new, and it's the tonic for trace detection ingredients and a spell energy for the free gift, so just make sure you go get that because it is free. Moving on to the tasks, the first task hasn't changed too much. It's the collect 2 ingredients or Portman 2 off the ground, get you 2 powdered dragon claw, nothing special there, just pick up some stuff off the ground including energy. Next up is to brew 1 Barufio's Brain Elixir. It's going to get you some Granian hair, which is used in regular Extimulo potions. Keep in mind, to brew it, you just need to collect it. So I would actually have a Barufio's brewing going into this event, so it is done. When the event begins, you can just collect it and immediately get credit for this. And then you need to return 12 brilliant Quidditch keeper Ron. It gets you a tonic for trace detection, and those are going to be the purple beams. You just go around and collect those. But as with a lot of these events, I don't want you to go visit your registry. This time it's going to be till the 3rd set of tasks. You will not go to the registry. Once you complete all this tasks, you are going to get some regular experience. You're going to get 50 family experience, which will be important for task 3, and you don't want to go there and collect it yet. You just want it kind of banked. And then you get some restricted section books. Moving on to the 2nd set of tasks, you need to get 7,000 wizarding experience from traces. Meaning you can't get this from fortresses, you can't get it from port keys, you can't get it from placing images, opening trunks. It has to be from traces, returning foundables. So you just, on the overworld map, just go around and start returning foundables. And you'll want to return some specific ones, which I'll talk about in a second. But that's going to get you an Extimulo potion. 15 great spellcasts. It's going to get you 5 Leaping Toadstool used in Barufio's Brain Elixir. So if you're not max level, certainly useful for you. And then return 12 Quidditch fan Hermione Granger, and that's going to get you 1 Dark Detector. So again, that's going to be the other purple beam. And again, as you are getting those, you'll probably get more Rons, which is fine. Just keep collecting them. I wouldn't place their images because it's just a quicker way to gain family experience, which is what you need in task 3, which I'll explain when we get there. If you do all that, you're going to get, the main thing is 3 restricted section books, and you're going to get 75 family experience for this brilliant family, which again, don't go to the registry, just don't open it. If you're ever forced to maybe have to go to it, just close your game out, like hard close it and then just reopen it so it doesn't make you go there. Like if you were going to have to place an image and you click on that X at the bottom, it takes you to the registry. Just don't do that. Moving on to the 3rd set of tasks, earn 5,000 wizarding experience from challenges. So you have to go into a fortress. At least it's not challenge experience. This is regular experience. So if you're on a Barufio's, this will go quicker. It'll double your ability to do that. The higher chambers you do will get you more wizarding experience. So if you can do higher chambers or with more people, it is going to get you more of this experience quicker. If you finish that, it will get you 2 Dawdle Drafts, which aren't the most exciting thing, but at least you'll get to be able to start moving on to the next thing. And here's the task that I've kind of been referencing, which is to collect 5 Imperfect Love runestones, which gets you 4 armadillo bile. But the way you get these runestones is by ranking up in this brilliant family, which is that event page, that bar that goes up to 40, and then it resets and resets. So every 40 family experience you get, you'll get a runestone. But you don't actually get those runestones till you visit the registry, and it'll kind of give you any family experience you've gotten since the last time you visited it. So in the first 2 sets of tasks, by collecting all the Rons and all the Hermiones and getting those wizarding experience from Traces, in addition to the 2 rewards, the 50 and the 75, that should be a pretty big chunk, and you should actually be pretty close. If you haven't been to the registry, when you go visit it, you'll probably get 5 runestones right then, and this task will be done. If you had gone before then, that means you have to get another 200 family experience in this brilliant family. So definitely better to not visit the registry till you get to this page. And lastly is to return 8 Angelina Johnson traces. It's going to get you a silver key. Angelina Johnson, this will be a regular foundable. It's just going to be boosted during this event. She's Legends of Hogwarts. If you do all that, you're going to get some brilliant family experience and 5 restricted section books. The 4th set of tasks starts out with brewing 8 potions, which means as soon as you collected that Brufios back then, if you started brewing potions and you had like 4 ready right now, you could collect them and that would be 4 of your brew 8 potions. You just need to throw 4 more in. If you rented a cauldron and had 4 in there, you could have 4 and 4. You could have 8 potentially ready, I guess, at this time. That's up to you though. I'll probably just take time with it and have 4 coming into this and then just brew the other 4 going into the bonus tasks, which won't be a big deal. Once you do that, you will get 1 spell book, which right now are super useful for that combat adversary tree, and I'm always looking for them. Defeat 15 formidable foes in Wizarding Challenge. So specifically, you have to go do Wizarding Challenges, and you need the ones that actually have the formidable moniker to it, which is going to be the 3-star. It's going to have the 3 stars to it. This one might take a little bit longer. Honestly, you're going to need to go a little higher chambers. If you're in the low chambers, you're not going to run into these a lot. I will probably stick around anywhere between, like, I don't know, tower 1 to 5 or 2 to 5, because I know I'll hit them enough, and it's chambers that I can do myself solo, so I can go quicker, and it doesn't take me as much energy as doing maybe a forest 1 or 2 by myself. And when you get into those chambers, you're just as likely to maybe get a 4-star opponent, so then it's, you know, you have to balance that. So for me, it'll probably be tower 2 through 5 is what I'll be looking at to try to get these. It will take a while though, because it is just luck of you being presented with it, because sometimes it's going to give you lower or higher level foes instead of giving you formidable foes. Once you do finish it though, you will get 1 spell book. And lastly is to collect 3 brilliant lavender brown fragments from challenges. Now, while you're doing these challenges, go ahead and use those brilliant runestones you just got in the last step, because those runestones, then you have a chance to get her to drop, or a fragment of her. And once you get 3 fragments of her to drop, in which case you could actually place her image, but don't. Don't place any images yet. But once you get those 3 fragments, you'll meet this task, and that'll get you 1 spellbook as well. And once you complete all the 4th set of tasks, you're going to get that 1 fragment of Cormac McLagan, which I talked about. So you'll get that rewarded. Again, don't place his image, because you'll be ready to with that 1 fragment. 5 restricted section books and 5 defense against dark arts books. Ooh, before we move on to the bonus tasks, my second adversary has appeared from that edible dark mark. Oh my gosh, it looks like, is it another one of those? Yep. It's the ancient Hungarian horntail again. All right, I'll probably meet you on the other side of defeating this. That battle went a little better than the first one that you saw me fight, because that one I didn't have to use a healing potion, just a wit sharpening and the potent. He didn't get so many hits on me. That's really what the deciding factor was. I still did an equal amount of damage. No dodges again, but it was able to just go through with those 2. And didn't have to use any more potions to finish him off. My other adversary is up, as you can see. I still have 5 minutes left on this dark mark, which is kind of silly, because that's the last one, and there's nothing else that happens after this. But, so anyway, it's just chilling there, but let's talk about the bonus tasks first. Once you finish those 4 sets of tasks, the bonus tasks opened up, like I just said, and there will be a bonus bundle in the Diagon Alley in the store if you want to go check it out. It's really expensive. It has a lot of potions in it, but nothing really exciting that I'm going to be purchasing. First bonus task is to place 5 brilliant images on the Imperfect Love registry page. That's the brilliant for this event, and this is why I said don't place the images. If you've done Ron and Hermione, you should have their images ready to place. They made you get the lavender brown, so you should have her image ready to place. Cormac McLagan, you've gotten his image as a reward, so you should have 4 images right now just from really playing the game. There would be no reason really for you not to have those 4. You couldn't even get past some of these tasks without doing that. So the 5th one would be if you walk the port keys and you manage to get Crookshanks, you would have the 5th image and be ready to place it now, which again, I've harped on the fact that this task should always be in the bonus tasks, and they've got it here now. But we'll see in the next event if they keep it here or they slide it back to task 4 again. But anyway, I digress. So if you have Crookshanks, you're good to go. You place those 5 images, you get the spell book, you're good. If you can't walk port keys, if you're not able to get out, then my recommendation, as always, is to go ahead and run Fortresses again and just get another lavender brown. You'll have a bunch of rune stones probably at this point. Just go, after you place her image, go back into Fortresses and run them enough again to get 3 more fragments, and then just place her image a second time. And don't worry if you're not able to place Crookshanks. You will actually get to place Crookshanks if you finish the bonus tasks. They give you 5 fragments as a reward. You can see at the bottom here, and we'll talk about it when we get there. But anyway, you'll get the 5 fragments. You'll get to place it one way or the other, but if you've walked the port keys, you can do it for this particular task. Next is to earn 12,500 wizarding experience. Barufios will double that. It doesn't say it has to be from anything in particular, so running fortresses, placing images, opening trunks, just returning foundables, anything, and Barufios will double all of it. So I wouldn't focus too much on this. You'll get this just playing the game. And you will get 1 spell book for finishing that 12,500. Again, a useful thing for a lot of us right now with that combat adversary tree. Returning 25 Legends of Hogwarts Foundables will get you a silver key. Legends of Hogwarts Foundables, there will be a number that are boosted during this event. So just be on the lookout for any Legends of Hogwarts. It doesn't just have to be the boosted ones, and the brilliant ones will not count for this. It has to be the regular Legends of Hogwarts Foundables. But with them being boosted and trying to get that 12,500, you can just have kind of a normal grind session, just going around returning Foundables, and you should be able to get up to 25 pretty quickly. Use 12 potions in wizarding challenges. That's going to get you some spell energy. And it does say you can use any potions, so whether using witch sharpening, I don't know if you'll be using those, mainly extimulos and healing probably. And this is talking about fortresses, so challenges, not adversaries, which unfortunately is not a place I like to use potions, and I think a lot of people don't like to. So for me, a lot of times I'm using extimulos, and I'm somewhere up in the forest 1 for me, maybe tower 5. Just something where potions make things go a little quicker for me instead of taking up so much energy as well. So just go into fortresses, use potions as needed. Invigoration drafts, obviously another good one, or strong invigoration drafts to get that focus. If maybe you're up in like Dark 5 or Dark 4, some of the higher ones with people, and just trying to get that focus if it wasn't passed to you, or you just want to get that focus a little bit quicker. And the last thing is to cast a masterful spell 10 times. It's going to get you 2 witch sharpening potions. This one I know people probably will not be happy with if you do struggle, and we had the great spell cast in the last one. One thing that will help with this potentially is that Brilliant Hermione is Aguamente, which is just that little swerve. So you really can just rush your fingers straight across to finish that spell. So that would be a good one to really work on and get that masterful, because again, it's 1 stroke. You don't have to change directions. You really can just a very subtle down and back up and just fly across the screen, and hopefully you can get some masterfuls with that. Keep in mind, it doesn't have to be a successful cast. So if I ran into a Hermione or anything else with Aguamente, and I did it and it failed, and I did it and it failed, and I did it and it failed, I'm going to get credit for every masterful I've done that way, whether it was successful or not. You don't even have to return the foundable for it to be for you to get credit for this. So you're just going to need to do that 10 times. Hermione should be available more, obviously the purple beam. Ron's spell I think is a lot harder to get masterfuls on. because, I mean, just that up, down, over Incendio, just super difficult for sure, compared to a lot of other spells that are easier masterful casts. If you manage to complete all the bonus tasks, you are going to get those 5 fragments of Crookshanks like I talked about, so you can place that image for the first time, or if you did the port keys, you can place it again. And then in addition to all the other stuff you get, 5 Defense Against Dark Arts books is probably the biggest thing, just another thing that's going to help you with either your SOS tree or some of the later combat adversary stuff. I had to turn my camera off for a second because it was actually starting to overheat because the sun actually coming in through a window is actually right on the back of it. And when I leave it on for like 20 minutes, it tends to overheat a little. But while it was overheating, my edible dark mark had actually run out, but I got that Slytherin's Basilisk you just saw after the dark mark. So just know that when the dark mark runs out, if you have an adversary, it is still going to stick around for a little bit. I don't know how long. I wouldn't test that theory too far unless you're just okay with losing it. But they won't stick around forever, but they don't disappear immediately. Just know that. And so out of the 3, I actually got 1 Slytherin's Basilisk, but the other 2 were not event foundable. So my edible dark mark wasn't necessarily producing an abundance of event adversaries, which I would like to see them start to maybe during events have the dark marks only produce event adversaries. I'm not sure if they can do that yet or if they can figure it out. But I think that would be pretty good to make it worth our while to use edible dark marks and have it only spawn that. And then the other adversaries can go ahead and be a mixture. Although they were supposed to be an increased rate. It was supposed to be double the chance you get a Lockhart or a Basilisk for this event. Over here on the Basilisk page, which I actually did this right before that Basilisk. The previous Basilisk the other day I fought got me to this stage right here, and I just got another piece of the Fang. But anyway, if I place the egg, I will be able to prestige this page and carry some fragments over, which was one of the goals, was trying to get over to the next page on some of these. So Slytherin's Basilisk over to bronze. Now you can see for Lockhart, I just still need 1 more of the picture, and then 3 more. I need a bunch, actually. I need his wand, I need his magical me, and I need that. A little bit different guide today as I was doing that dark mark during this, but it is good to multitask sometimes, and I did want to finish it up and just show you that I was finishing up the event while we did this guide. So for this event, again, the short version, have a Rufios ready going into the event. Have it ready to be collected going into the event. As with all these events, do not open your event registry during this until you get to the 3rd set of tasks. Save all your images until you get to the bonus tasks. And as soon as you've collected that Rufios, go ahead and have 4 queued up, or you could have 3 actually with the Rufios and just collect the Rufios, I suppose. But anyway, just have 4 potions ready to collect going into the 4th set of tasks. So start brewing, but don't collect any potions till you get there, just so you're going to get credit, because you have to brew 8 anyway. Rent a cauldron if you feel like it to speed things up. Otherwise, like for me, when I get to that 4th set of tasks, I'll probably finish everything except for the potions, and then just let those potions finish out, and then my next session I'll collect them, and then boom, go into the bonus tasks and just go from there. Hopefully this guide will help you prepare, then get through this event. I hope you don't have too much trouble with the great and masterful casts. I'm guessing out of everything in this event, that's going to be probably the most talked about thing, the most divisive, that people who aren't happy about some of those tasks. But again, that Hermione with the Aguamente, one of the easier masterfuls to get good at, and you'll have a lot of practice hitting her all the time. As always, thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Nox.